This Saturday in London, England at the O2 Arena, it's Leon Rocky Edwards taking on Sean Brady, the pride of Philadelphia, two top five welterweight contenders in the UFC are going to battle and headlining a fantastic fight card for a fight night, especially in the UFC. The prelims begin at 1 p.m. on the East Coast. The main card starts at 4, so it's an earlier card because it's in London. This is the first event in London, England in 2 years. Because last year in 2024, when they went to England, they went to Manchester. That was back in July. That's when Leon Edwards lost his belt to Bilal Muhammad, and now he is fighting in his first non-title fight in quite some time. And to be exact, it's his first non-title fight since he fought Nate Diaz in June of 2021. He had 4 straight title fights. He was 3-1, and obviously he kicked off that title run with one of the most iconic finishes in UFC history, headshot dead, if you will, against Kamaru Usman in August of 2022. But getting into this matchup, this is a really interesting one because Sean Brady is 32 years old, a year younger than Edwards, and he has had a great UFC run so far, and he's 7-1 in the UFC, and he's won 2 straight fights since he lost his first fight in the UFC, and that was a knockout loss to the now champion Bilal Muhammad. So Sean Brady is in a position where if he can get past the former champion in Leon Rocky Edwards, he could be fighting for a title very shortly. It's that simple. Sean Brady most recently had a good performance, unanimous decision victory against Gilbert Burns, a former title challenger. He submitted Calvin Gastelum. He really is just, to me, each time that Sean Brady is in the cage and the octagon, especially after his first defeat, he seems like more comfortable in there. He seems more patient. He seems like he's growing as a striker because we know on the ground he's a phenom in his own right. But Leon Edwards is something that surprised me is Leon Edwards in this matchup is listed as the underdog at plus 135. Sean Brady's minus 160. And when I saw these odds, it just caught me off guard. I know Sean Brady is the younger fighter, but when you look at this matchup on paper, Leon Edwards is the taller fighter by 4 inches, and he has a 2-inch reach advantage, and on paper that's a big gap in size. I know when you break it down, Sean Brady is the more efficient striker, lands over 4 significant strikes per minute, and that's a little over 1 more than Leon Edwards, and Sean Brady does land over 2 more takedowns per 15 minutes than Leon Rocky Edwards does. So the size factor is on Leon's side, but the statistics are on Sean Brady's side. But I just think Leon Edwards this is a fight in his home country. The fans are going to be on his side. He's one of the fan favorites whenever they're in England and he fights there. I just give him the edge in this one because of that and because of his experience factor. Leon Edwards, like I mentioned, he wasn't just on a good run. He was on a great run. He beat Kamaru Usman twice. He beat Colby Covington. And although his last fight and his last performance wasn't one of his best performances, it still was a valiant effort, and he was fighting at the top of the division. This is a little bit stepped down in competition, as it's a Sean Brady who is a little more inexperienced. Sean Brady has never fought for a title. He's never headlined a big pay-per-view event, and he's never headlined an event like an event in London. This is a big-time spot for Sean Brady, and although these are 2 of my favorite guys to watch, 2 of my favorite welterweights, and Sean Brady being from my hometown of Philadelphia and it's hard to go against them, but I'm going to have to go with Leon Edwards to win this fight. I think it's going to go to decision 5 rounds, but I just think Leon is a better striker than maybe his numbers would say. I really think he's being a longer welterweight than Sean Brady. I think if he can control that pace and distance, I think that and stuff some of Sean Brady's takedowns, I think this is Leon Edwards' fight to lose. And although he's not super old, when guys, as we saw Kamaru Usman, when he first lost his belt to Edwards, then his rematch, he lost his second fight. So once you lose the title, a lot of guys struggle to get back to that mountaintop. And if Edwards loses to Brady, he might never fight for a title again. But if he can beat Sean Brady, I think Leon Edwards deserves the next title shot. I know Shavkat Rakhmonov got hurt, was supposed to fight for the championship, but Leon Edwards had 3 title wins, beat 2 of the best welterweights of all time. I know he suffered a defeat, but a good win against Sean Brady should get Leon Rocky Edwards back in the mix for a title fight. And this is just a great main event. I can't wait for this. But before we go, the co-main event is a great one as well. It's the return of Jan Blachowicz, the guy who possesses Polish power, against the Black Jag, Carlos Ulberg, the latest contender out of City Kickboxing, one of the best gyms in the sport, where guys like Israel Adesanya and Alexander Volkanovski have trained at and came from. And Carlos Ulberg's coming off of a victory against Volkan Ozdemir a couple months ago back in July, and that was his biggest win of his career, most accomplished win. But although he didn't get the finish like he did in his previous 4 UFC fights, still was a good win to beat a guy that's been a contender in the light heavyweight division for so many years at this point. But this is his toughest test, without a doubt. He's facing Jan Blachowicz, although he's 42 years old, and although he hasn't fought since July of 2023, when he lost the split decision, close loss against Alex Pereira, the former light heavyweight champion. He still is very tough every area of his game. He's a well-versed fighter. He can stand on the feet. He can dominate people on the ground. But I just think Carlos Ulberg, being 2 inches taller, being the better striker, being the more powerful striker, I think that's the difference. He lands almost 4 more significant strikes per minute than Jan Blachowicz does. I think that's a big factor in this fight, and it just seems like Ulberg is primed to get to the top of this division. If he beats Jan Blachowicz here, and especially in impressive fashion, I could see Ulberg getting a title shot just like Edwards could as well. Ulberg is close to a -300 favorite in this fight, as Blachowicz is +240. I got Ulberg by knockout in this one. Overall, a really good card, especially for a fight night, as I mentioned. Gunnar Nelson versus Kevin Holland. Molly the Meatball is also on this card. Kevin Holland is making his 20th walk to the octagon in his UFC career. Pretty insane stuff. Like I said, this is an early start. Prelims at 1 p.m. Main card at 4 p.m. this Saturday. It's Leon Rocky Edwards taking on Sean Brady. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you next time.